Yesterday we learned about functions as being a relationship between inputs and outputs, where each input had exactly one output. Today we're going to talk about functions and how you can create a function using words and also with an equation. So to review, function rule is a rule that describes a relationship between inputs and outputs. And a function can be written as an equation with two variables. Now, if you think about the inputs and outputs, we used two variables actually. The ones that are associated with the coordinate plane used x and y. And our x was the input here, and y was the output. So if you think about what we've learned about with variables, well, these are going to be our two variables, x and y. X is what you put in, y is what you get out. So, in equation, x is going to be what is being done in the equation, and y is going to be our answer. And this is going to be true for any function that is written this way. Y is always going to be the output or the answer. And then x is what is happening in the equation. So in this case, 3 times x equals y. So here's another example. This is a function written in words, and we are going to translate it into an equation. The output, which we just talked about as y, is 5 less than the input, which is x. So the output, y, is 5 less than the input. So we have x minus 5. And now we have a function written in words here and as an equation with two variables here. Okay, here's another example. The output, y, is 4 times the input, x. So 4 times the number that we input, x, equals the output, y. Okay, for this example, you're given an input-output table or a mapping diagram, and you need to write an equation that describes the function. So you want to look at your ordered pairs here that go across. Remember, the arrows tell you which output goes with the input. So we have 0, 0, 1, 4, 2, 8, and 3, 12. So we want to see what the relationship is between the input and the output. So if I put 0 in, I get 0. If I put 1 in, I get 4. Well, that was multiplied by 4. And that would work for the first one too. How about for 2? Well, yes, 2 times 4 equals 8, and 3 times 4 equals 8. So that seems to be our rule. So now we need to write that as an equation. Well, our input, remember, is x, and our output is y. Output is the answer, and what is being done to x in this function is being multiplied by 4. So our function, or our equation, is 4x equals y. Here's a different type of example. You need to tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of the equation. So here's your ordered pair. And remember that the first number is x, second number is y. So all you need to do is substitute these values in, 6 for x, 0 for y, into this equation and see whether it comes out to be true. So let's go ahead and do that. Our x is 6, so 6 minus 6 equals 0. And according to here, y is supposed to be 0. This is y. This is x. So does this work? Yes, it does. Okay, here are on your own questions. Write an equation that describes the function. The function is given to you in words. The output is 3 less than the input. Second question is I would like you to write an equation that describes the function. So remember, you are looking at the ordered pairs, is what is the difference between the input and the output. So going from 1 to 8, 2 to 9, 3 to 10, 4 to 11. And write an equation using x and y. And number 3 is the ordered pair a solution. So is 118 a solution for this equation that is given to you? Okay, things to remember. Input is always x, output is always y, and this is going to be your answer in an equation. Functions can be written in words or in equations, as well as the mapping diagrams that we've already gone over.